Well, hello everyone, and welcome to ADMG 681 Social Informatics. My name is Dr. Jackie Krause, and I will be working with you for the next 6 weeks on this topic. And I love this topic, and I hope that you will find it every bit as interesting as I do when we're finished with this class. So, what is social informatics? Social informatics focuses on the critical analysis of social, cultural, philosophical, ethical, legal, public policy, and economic issues as they relate to information technologies. We will examine the roles of information technology in social and organizational change. Though the focus of this course is on information technology, the class will concentrate on the social and organizational implications pertaining to the nature and use of information technology in organizations. So welcome, and it is good to see you here. Our summer session is going to be 6 weeks long. We start on June 20th. We end on July 29th. We have a lot of information that we're going to cover in a very short period of time. So hang in there because the class is going to move quickly. And I want to go over a few of those things with you as we go through this walkthrough. Your syllabus has all the policies that you need for the class. A syllabus is already out there and posted. One of the policies you might want to be aware of is the late policy. I do accept late work. Up to 3 days late with a 10% penalty per day. After 3 days, the link goes away. Discussions must be completed during the module that they are assigned. There are dates associated with them. The date that you see for the discussion due date is the date that the initial response is due. And then you typically have either 2 or 3 days after for your peer responses. But at the end of the module, when the module is finished and we move on to the next module, then your discussions need to be wrapped up and completed for that module. Textbooks, there are 3 books for this class. The first one is the annual editions, Technology, Social Media, and Society. The next one is called Networked, the new social operating system, and then A Gift of Fire. All 3 of these books look at social informatics from some slightly different perspectives. I think you'll actually enjoy reading from these different ways of looking at things, and each of these authors brings forward some different information. So I do think you'll enjoy the reading. Again, here's a course overview. We're going to work through 9 modules during 6 weeks. Each module will consist of 1 or more discussion questions. Typically, there are 2 discussion questions with the exception of when you have the short paper. So there are 4 short papers that you're going to write. One of them in module 2, one in 5, one in 8, and another one in 9. So in module 2, 5, 8, and 9, there will be 1 discussion question. So each module is going to run anywhere from 4 to 5 days. So you're going to need to pay close attention to the course calendar. The course calendar will tell you when your due dates for the assignments and the discussions are. And you'll notice that modules will start and end on very different days. You may have a module start on Saturday and end on Tuesday. You may have a module start on Wednesday and end on Sunday. So again, you're going to want to pay special attention to your course calendar as you walk through this class. Let's talk a little bit about the discussion questions. Now, the discussion questions are going to be taking place in small groups. The small groups are usually 5 to 6 students. I will be rotating those groups in Module 5, so don't work ahead. Some people like to work ahead in discussions. Don't do that for Module 5 because I will be reassigning you to a different discussion group. One of the reasons I love small discussion groups is that you get a chance to become really intimate with the people that you're working with, and you get to understand their thoughts and their feelings about some of these topics. turns out that you can really get some good in-depth conversations that way as well. But to work through the whole course with one group, you may tend to get a little bit of group think happening there. So I like to mix it up about halfway through, give you a different group of students to start sharing your ideas and opinions with. So that's why we change up those groups. Now I want you to be very careful. Be sure you review the guidance for success in discussion so that and become familiar with the rubric. That's what I will be using to grade you, and do understand that a majority of the class actually does occur in the discussion forum. That's pretty much a big part of the focus of this class. So let me talk about what I'm looking for in terms of your discussions. You're going to have an initial post. That initial post is going to have certain required elements based on the discussion question. Your initial post should be well written, well researched, 200 to 300 words, should include some references. That initial post is worth 50 points or 50% of the total discussion points. Then you're going to have 2 peer responses. You're going to respond to 2 peers in your group. Now, in order for your peer responses to be considered excellent or substantive, you need to have a good 100 words minimum. You need to have at least 1 quality reference. And you really need to make sure that you are adding to that conversation, not simply saying, I agree, and then restating what someone else has already said. That's not going to work. Trust me, I see right through that. We do not restate what someone else has already said in different words. What you need to do is you need to add value to the conversation by adding something else, either through additional research from the internet research. Maybe it's something additional from the text that supports or contradicts. It's okay to disagree as long as you provide support. Or you can share personal experiences. Personal experiences are a great way which we can learn especially from one another. So definitely get out there and read those guidelines for discussion so that you know what's being expected. You also have a weekly reflective paper. So each week you're going to be writing a short reflection on what you got out of the week's reading and discussions. Okay, it's typically going to be 200 to 300 words, and it's going to follow the same points each week. So these are the points. What significant new information did you learn? How did this information inform your knowledge of social informatics? You're going to answer what were there any big aha moments, and then describe any discussion either that took place in the classroom's discussion forum or from the reading that you that helped you that impacted how you think about a particular topics, the topics that we went over that week. Address how you identify the information presented in this module to your personal or professional practice. And then what were the big takeaways that you might implement in your professional practice? Those are the 4 points that I need you to highlight in your weekly reflective paper. You're welcome to add headings if you would like, that assure that you hit those topics in your reflective statement. And again, that reflective statement should be 200 to 300 words. And then, as I mentioned, in Module 2, 5, 8, and 9, you're going to write 4 short papers. You're going to write a short paper. So all total, there will be 4 short papers. What you're going to do is choose 3 points from the reading. So let me back up. The paper for Module 2 will cover Module 1 and Module 2. The paper for Module 5 will cover everything from 3, 4, and 5. So you get the idea? So what we're going to do is we're going to choose you're going to choose 3 points from the readings that you want to discuss. And then you're going to look at those points across all of the text material. And you're going to do some comparing and contrasting. Okay, so for example, you decide I'm going to look at the digital divide as one of your 3 points. Now, you're going to need to then prepare a discussion about what each of the 3 textbooks said about the digital divide issue. And you want to do some comparing and some contrasting of that reading. Now, all total, when you finish that work, you should have about 3 to 5 pages in length, and it should be APA format, which will be double spaced. You'll have a title page and a reference page. And of course, the title and reference pages do not count towards the 3 to 5 pages in length that your paper should write out to. Okay? Some resources that should help you here, and I really highly encourage you to get on out there and take a quick look, is in Module 2 for sure. These resources appear in each of the modules where the paper assignments exist. I love this point-by-point worksheet. And the reason I like it is because if you grab this worksheet at the beginning of Module 1, and then you start filling it out. So you decide what point 1 is going to be, and then you describe it. And then you put in book 1, book 2, book 3. What did book 1 say? What did book 2 say? What did book 3 say? If you grab this and start filling it out as you do your reading, it makes it so much easier to write your paper when you get down to Module 2, at the end of Module 2, and you're like, all right, what am I going to write? What am I going to say? What? So instead of having to go back and go through all of the material again, looking for 3 points, you've been writing things down all along. You've been capturing this information, and now you've got your 3 points listed. You've got what each book said. I'd put page numbers in there. I would write down page numbers so I know where to go back as needed to grab information. So again, this is a worksheet that's available for you, and I highly encourage you to look at it. Also, the Venn diagram helps you to look at the intersections between your point and what did book 1, book 2, and book 3 say, and then where are those overlaps. And also where things are outside of the overlaps is where you find your contradictions. All right. So let's talk about some other information. There are no quizzes, there's no midterm, and there's no final exam in this class. The bulk of the work is in the discussions, in your weekly reflective paper, and in the 4 individual short papers that you're going to write. That's the work that you're going to be doing in this class. Now, that's actually a lot of work for 6 weeks. Your reading will be approximately 60 to 100 pages per module. All right, so some weeks or some modules will be 60 to 70 pages. There is one module, I believe, where you have 102 pages of reading. So the work is really in the discussions, the reflective paper, and then those 4 short papers. That is what you're doing in this class. However, it is a lot. And it is a lot to do in 6 short weeks. So the best thing you can do, stay on track, pace yourself, try to work ahead whenever possible. Try to keep ahead of the curve. Again, I do accept late assignments, but to be honest with you, there really aren't any excuses for a late assignment. If it's late, it's late. Technology. I was sick. I had problems. We all get sick and we all have problems. So I do accept them late. There will be a There will be a deduction of late points, and then after 3 days, it goes away. I am available via Skype most days, so you can reach out to me. Dr. Jackie Krause is my Skype name. Don't hesitate to add me, and if you need to, Skype me if you have any questions. And finally, and maybe most important, the course homepage will be set to the modules page, so that when you come into the Canvas classroom, you'll be at the modules page. And you're going to walk through the modules in order, pay attention to the due dates. I will post information in the announcements. And of course, the announcements link is visible from that left navigation bar in Canvas. Be sure to read the announcements every time you come into the Canvas classroom. If there's a change in the syllabus, if there's a change in the schedule, I will post it as an announcement. I highly encourage you to go out there every single time, and the first thing you do, go out and look. Any changes that happen, I will post them as an announcement. And again, get out there every time you walk in to the class. One thing that I didn't mention, each module will run either 4 or 5 days. So definitely, you're probably going to find that you're going to touch this class every day or at least every other day. And again, be sure to get out there and read those announcements. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me at jacqueline.krause@cwu.edu. You can, of course, Skype me at Dr. Jackie Krause. Definitely enjoy the class. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I love this topic. I think you're going to find that we touch on so many awesome social issues and how technology has played into those issues. And I think you're going to find that we're going to have some really good discussions from everything that all of the comments I've got in the past. People thoroughly enjoy the exploration that we do in this particular class. I hope you feel the same way. I hope you're as passionate about it as I am. And I look forward to working with you over these next 6 weeks. Take care.